Hey guys, welcome back to Arcanum, and we are playing during the whole Halloween update, which is fitting, saying this is probably one of the scariest stories, in my opinion, probably period. Yeah, so we have this little cute little fun message here. I'm gonna go and check that out, but that's adorable. Tea party is starting in like 2 hours, and there's been a shopping day going on where I assume all like accessories and outfits and stuff are free. Yeah, so I might actually want to also play an episode maybe of what's the most outfit heavy? Maybe Sins of London or Legend of the Willow. One of those. They have expensive outfits, so I might check that out. So I still haven't played those yet. But for now, back to this. If you open a closet with a skeleton, then be ready for unpleasant surprises. Episode 8. Alright. Yeah, and then Tea Party's coming up. I don't know what I want to do for Tea Party. I think replay Cells and Thug. Yeah. I think I'm gonna do that. Anyway, Chapter 8. The first and final warning. Okay. Selena jumped out of bed when she realized the sun was already shining through the curtains. Did I oversleep? Oh, I forgot about this dress. That's nice. That's nice. Josephine didn't wake me up after everything that happened yesterday. Remembering the mistress bowed in prayer and her bestial look, Selena shuddered. Crazy hag. She's cuckoo after all. And Prima, what a little asshole. Everything's a joke to her. I need to find her. I want to know what it all means. Selena put on the first dress she could find, which will be free. Whether appropriate, refined. Oh, it comes with a necklace. I never read that. Or a great outfit. No. What are we vibing? I like the necklace and I love the color on her. I don't know how I feel about the dress just per se. So kind of vibing this one. She drew back the curtain and looked out the window. It's still raining? Maybe I should put on a hat? Selena found several options in the closet. Ooh. What kind of hats do we got? We're wearing black, so it can go with pretty much anything. Ah, and there attached to it is a random hair colors. Interesting. Girl. Oh, there's a lot of options. Hold on. Okay, we have an elegant bonnet. Chapeau. Yeah, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Okay, velvet bonnet. I'm going for this one. She looks straight fire. I like that. Josephine's quiet but imperious footsteps were heard in the hallway. Selena waited until Josephine walked by. She didn't want to run into her. When the footsteps died down, she left the room and hurried downstairs. I guess she finally unlocked our freaking door. What crazy. Prima was nowhere to be found. I should have been more insistent. I should have locked her up in somewhere and make her tell me everything. If she is who I think she is, I don't think that would have been possible. But maybe we would have found out. I'm pretty tired of living in this hotel, in this godforsaken town where every other person's crazy. You're also a little bit crazy, but yeah. She clearly got up on the wrong foot and couldn't find her place, just like a ghost. Liam entered the hall, but noticing Selena, he started and hated something behind his back. Lilith, are you awake? What are you hiding there? Nothing? Really? Liam sighed with a guilty smile. He removed his hands from behind his back. His fingers, smeared with charcoal, trembled, barely holding a tattered notebook. I tried to paint. And? Are you mad? Why should I be mad? Oh, yeah, just... Please don't tell Josephine I tried to paint again. Even more so now. Why can't you paint, Liam? He stared at Selena in confusion, flapping his big eyelashes, and then shrugged and said, Because I'm bad at it, and I get frustrated. He folded the notebook into a tube and looked around awkwardly. The mansion gets so cold when it starts raining in Totspell. Oh, Liam, You're so bad at changing the subject. That's true. Do you know where Prima is? I think she went to the cemetery again. To the graveyard? Don't you think this is a strange hobby? Prima is a hilarious girl. She's rarely at home lately. I miss her intricate games. She reminds me of you as a kid. We were also fooling around, scaring the servants, doing nasty things, and laughing, even when we weren't supposed to. You said that only laughter can help you cope with the horror that was happening in the real world. Prima's weird, but that's why I love her. Sure. You're all a little weird. Is that bad? No, I'm just confused and tired of these riddles. I love riddles. When you understand everything, when you control everything, life becomes insipid. You live in a world of chaos, Liam. And do you live in a world where everything is crystal clear and you know beforehand what's going to happen? I live in a world where everything is in your hands. You cannot control anything where there is chaos. Liam laughed. You say funny things, sweet Lilith. Prima is most likely at this unnamed cemetery, but it's raining outside. Will you catch a cold? Don't worry about me. Should I go with you? I want to talk to her in private. Don't bother. Liam approached impulsively, raised his hand as if he wanted to touch her, but he changed his mind and lowered his hand exhaustedly. He's so restless. He's like a swan locked in a cage. He can see the beauty of the world around him, but cannot enjoy it. Liam's feelings made Selena feel awkward, but she was getting used to them at the same time, as if it was something she was accustomed to, something familiar, as if she was always surrounded by his love. Liam's anxiety was upsetting Selena. She wanted to ease it a little. She couldn't yet reciprocate his feelings, or maybe she simply didn't want to admit to herself that she needed him. A thought of becoming dependent, taking root in that invented world, made her shiver. Selena took Liam's hand, interlocking their fingers. Lilith, I'll be back soon. He wished that moment would last forever, but she slowly let go of him. I'll go now. Then I'll be waiting for you two here. Liam watched Lilith go. Prima was squatting, slightly hunched over and resting her head on her knees. She was picking with a twig in the wet ground. Cemetery isn't the best place for little kids like you. Huh? Are you trying to make me angry? Smart girl. Do you know who's buried here? She pointed to the grave near which Prima was sitting. Prima raised her head, squinting at Selena. Yes? She pointed her finger at the grave mound. At first glance, there was nothing there, but when Selena looked closely, she saw her last name. The hair on the back of her neck stood up in horror. The pressure and the stress of the past days made her impressionable. Selena grabbed Prima by the hand, shook her as if trying to take out on her the fear and anxiety she was feeling. How do you know my name? Everyone in Tospel knows your last name. Why did you write it? Prima burst out laughing, not even trying to escape. Don't you like my joke? Selena threw her hand away. You're a nasty girl. Do you know that? I'm trying to be. The sound of rain became a familiar background soundtrack. It was omnipresent, whether you were lying in bed or standing by a fresh grave next to a crazy girl. The surname drawn in the ground reminded Selena of something she did a long while ago. The headmistress bent over Leslie's bed while she sobbed into the pillow and shook her head. How long shall I stand here? They're waiting for you. Is this how you want to repay them for their good deed? I'm not going anywhere. Why? The headmistress looked at Selena, but she shrugged. I don't know anything. I'll die if I go with them. That's nonsense? Leslie raised her wet face, swollen from tears. You don't believe me, but I'm telling you, I'm gonna die. She threw away the notebook she was hiding under the pillow. You can't make me go. The mistress raised her notebook and turned over the pages. What is this? The date of my death. I didn't write it, I swear. I know it's not you. This isn't your handwriting. Selena was already halfway to the exit, trying to sneak outside unnoticed, but the headmistress' voice made her freeze. Come back. Shit. How many times did I tell you not to swear? I have nothing to do with it. She returned to silly Leslie's bed. This is your handwriting, Selena. Not true. You can't prove it. You told us she died if she left with her new adoptive parents. Selena turned away and muttered obstinately. I don't know what you mean. Let's go and have a talk. Leslie, get ready. They played a joke on you. Nothing threatens you. Really? Did you write that? She looked at her neighbor with a plaintive, pleading look, which made Selena nauseous. Yes, it was me. Me. Who's to blame that you're such a stupid chicken? You shouldn't believe everything they tell you. Leslie, instead of getting offended, burst out laughing, wiping away her tears. Oh, I'm so glad, so glad. She rushed to hug her friend. It's going to be okay now, right? Selena threw her head back dismissively, trying to pull away from her. How do I know? Why are you hugging me? You must hate me. You're so stupid. Leslie no longer listened to her. She was packing her suitcase. It happens, Selena. When you're happy, you don't want to waste time on resentment. And when you're deeply unhappy, you're annoyed by the happiness of others. It becomes so insulting that you're ready to play dirty, knowing that it'll be revealed, and you have to answer for it. Selena watched as Leslie, like she did with those people, that couple, as she turned in to HR. As Leslie ran from the nightstand to her bed with her shabby, filthy toys. They chose her because she's little. Do you want to be chosen too? No. I'll leave on my own. I'll achieve everything on my own. People like Leslie need parents more. She's so stupid. You got used to having her around. Not at all. Let her go. Do you hear me, Leslie? Get out of here already. Selena ran out into the street and didn't appear until the old clanking pickup truck disappeared around the corner, taking Leslie away. To the land where the territory of the orphanage ended and another life began. What are you thinking about? What? Prima erased Selena's surname with her foot. You're boring. Why did you bring me to Josephine's room? What was she doing there? Prima shrugged. She always does that. What exactly? She always prays for a person whose portrait is about to be finished. She takes it away from Bert, sobs, and whispers prayers all night, and then returns it back. Why? Who knows? She's a religious nutcase. Who kills a city with a point of no return? She saves them. What else do you know? You're so rude. Talks to me only to find out something. Leo never asks me such questions. He plays with me. Will you play with me? No. What? Hide and seek. At the cemetery? Why are you all so afraid of this place? People are only buried here. Maybe they like children to play next to their graves. You want to know why I'm scared of this place? That, right there. Right there in the back. Selena straightened her hat, which almost got torn off by the wind, and shivered from the cold. Let's do another time when it's not raining. Promise? Yes. Good. The girls fell silent when a figure appeared in the distance, slowly making his way through the cemetery. Who's that? Boo, a zombie. Selena paid no attention to Prima's comment. She was focused on the approaching stranger. A man, swaying, barely moving his legs, walked past several graves and fell to the ground. His neck was riddled with blisters. Oh no. Prima calmly looked at the unfortunate and coldly remarked, It started again. Yeah, maybe they can save him. Because if it's the same thing that they saved me from. Call Josephine, hurry. Why? You know why, asshole. You just said that. Yeah, asshole. You just said that she saves them. If she's saving people, then that's why I want to call her a crazy dumbass. Then I go get her. Soon lifted her skirt to rush toward the mansion, but Prima held her back. Nothing can help him at this point. But kudos for trying. See, that makes me feel like he's the one getting other redemption points. I'm telling you, that Prima is the freaking tarot card reader. Only that makes sense. The man began to convulse. Blood gurgled from his mouth. He died. He's done. Like a stray dog in the rain among unmarked graves. Not the best kind of death. Selena and Prima were wet to the bone, but their inner feelings were stronger than the sensation of their bodies. And yet the man's death made Selena startle, and she realized how cold she was. She caught herself thinking that she was standing next to the corpse, but it didn't feel too weird. Indeed, a person gets used to everything. A shadow loomed over the body, the same shadow Selena saw more than once. The shadow stretched out his bony hand and pointed to the graves. A bright lightning flashed overhead, and somewhere in the distance, thunder rumbled, almost splitting the sky in half. Selena backed away. Her legs slipped on the wet ground. Oh. Prima kept her from falling. What's wrong with you? The shadow. There was a shadow again. What shadow? I see. She doesn't see it either. She's gaslighting you, making you think that you're crazy. Fuck her. Selena nervously straightened her dress, brushed off the dirt from the hand, and looked around. Shadow is gone. Her heartbeat started to slow down, but she could still feel an anxiety lump in her stomach. What shall we do with him? She knocked out the man's motionless body. Might as well take care of it. It's not our problem. Can we go back to the hotel? Aren't you afraid of getting sick? She's not real. It often rains like this in Tottsville. I'm used to it. You go. I'll take a walk. You're crazy. Haha. It's almost like a compliment around here. Prima waved her hand and ran along the cemetery. Soon looked at her in bewilderment and then headed into the city. Residents, too, got used to the incessant downpour and as if nothing had happened, went about their business. The rain tried to chase people off the streets. The clouds spewed out every last drop, but nothing helped. Crowds of people scurried back and forth, casually hiding under their umbrellas, while some didn't bother to hide at all. I wonder what the weather is like in my world now. And how's my company doing? Probably our projects have been suspended. Suna's heart sank just thinking about that. It was like a child left unattended. Suna walked past the shops, past the pub where she was with Bert, then past Frederick Rosen's office. She took a few more steps, then stopped. Suna returned to the office and reread the sign. Frederick Rosen Law Firm. Suna didn't really read the address, but one letter caught her attention. The name written on the envelope revealed the anxiety of the person who wrote it. Those sharp squiggles and almost seemed hysterical. From Frederick Rosen to Josephine. Josephine snatched the letter from Selena's hands. I was not wearing that hair. I didn't actually look at them. Josephine started to move faster, wasn't so pedantic anymore about stacking the letters perfectly, as if she were afraid you get interested in the address. Well, this is getting interesting. And how did I not notice this office before? I guess you weren't meant to. She hesitated a little. Should I go in? There must be a reason Josephine protected those letters that fiercely. Surely there was something in them. I didn't find anything from Prima. Maybe I should try my luck here. Well, she pushed the door and went inside. A man was sitting at the table, methodically signing each piece of paper from a large folded pile. Hearing the bell ringing, he raised his head, smiling, but the smile faded as soon as he saw a Lilith in front of him. Like that. How can I help you? Suna went up to him and pointed to a chair near his desk. May I? Sure, have a seat. The lawyer quickly wrote something down on a piece of paper, called the boy who was hiding in the corner of the room, and handed it to him. The boy silently took the note and ran out of the office. Sorry, where were we? Oh, yes. Did you come here on Josephine's behalf? Someone tells me he already knows the answer. What to say? Yes. I don't think he likes me. So what if I can convince him that Josephine did send me? Let's give it a shot. She forgot to warn you. She wanted to know how things are progressing with the hotel. Things? I need to think what he could be doing for them. Is he helping them deal with the cases of the missing people? No, just one mention of it could silence him. I need a different strategy. Okay, so stay away from the cases of missing people. So things to do with the portraits or the thing with the burned out wing of the hotel. Portraits. What Josephine asks about that? Whatever she's doing, she seems kind of secretive about that. I don't know if she wants people to know about that. But I'm sure everybody knew about the fire. So my vote is for that one. The lawyer's hand froze on a moment on the bridge of his nose, then lowered onto the table. Josephine wants to make a refurbishment? We got him. Is she concerned about money issues? Yes, where could she get money from? No, I mean, they kind of live in a big ass house. I don't think money is a problem. But she figures what might be found there. People be treating me like I'm crazy when I start talking about supernatural stuff. So I might want to keep that one under wraps. No, she's afraid they'll find out the true cause of the fire. That's an interesting one. Or no, she fears that history will repeat itself. Ooh. I'm feeling one of the bottom two. Maybe we should kind of like stay vague yet on target. Because if I start talking about the true cause and I don't know the true cause, I could just be like history repeating itself. That leaves me more wiggle room to explain myself and try to narrow down my answers, I think. I don't know. Frederick pressed against the table. His voice dropped to a nervous whisper. Is it that bad? What is it all about? Yeah, it looks like that. See, this is what I mean. This is what I meant. Mr. Salisbury was so worried about it. How did he put it? About the flaws of their family. He did his best to hide. Do you know anything about that? Frederick shook his head sympathetically. Yes. Oh! The lawyer wearily took off his glasses, wiped them with a rag, and put them aside. Mr. Salisbury was a good man, really kind. You, of all people, should know of it, Lilith. He wanted everything to be perfect. Big, successful family, 2 sons and 2 daughters. Frederick sighed. But fate decided otherwise. Not many people know, but 2 of his children died in their teens, a daughter and a son. It was horrible. Suicide. Miss Salisbury did everything to cover up the cause of their death. Everyone thought it was an accident. A year later, the fire happened. 3 people were killed. Among them were Liam's parents and Josephine's father. They're not brother and sister? Then who were those two people who looked just like them? Aren't they brother and sister? Oh no, they're cousins. The fire wasn't an accident. The grandchildren were barely able to get out alive. All this was also hushed up. Poor Liam. His grandfather and cousin did everything to make it easier for him to get over the loss. Fortunately, or not, the parents weren't very close to their child. Maybe that's why he, surprisingly, didn't suffer much. Who is the culprit of the fire? Nobody knows. Apparently, one of the dead. So if I would hinted at the true cause, then that would have been wrong because nobody actually knows the true cause. Liam's mother and Josephine's father were brother and sister. Then that explains the photograph. Okay. But Liam's father was also in the fire. Who knows what happened between them? Selena was taken aback. Is the Salisbury family madness involved anyhow? I've already blurted out too much. Where is Josephine's mother now? She wanted nothing to do with the Salisbury family. She left her daughter with her grandfather and left Hotspell. She died a couple of years ago to leprosy. And now you're afraid that everything could happen again. The lawyer frowned, realizing that Selena played him. Oh no, Selena! You gave yourself away! We'll discuss the rest with Josephine. I'll come to visit you. As you wish. Selena got up from her chair. Good day. Good day. As soon as Lilith turned her back on Rose, and his face got contorted from fear and bewilderment. On her way out of the office, Selena stepped into a puddle of icy water. Damn. She jerked on one leg, then the other, and walked on, thinking about the secrets the all-knowing lawyer didn't share with her. Okay, what do we have? 2 deaths at the beginning, 3 at the end. Both of Liam's parents died. That thought made Selena stop for a while. Liam never said anything about it. He never mentioned it. Something clenched in her chest. Her heart ached with sympathy and guilt. Does he feel lonely? Forsaken? And isn't my amnesia perceived by him as another death of a person he loves? What about the rest? Liam's mother and Josephine's father were Salisbury's by blood. She replayed Rosen's story over and over in her head to make sense of everything she learned. The answer was so close, but there were a lot of options. Which one was correct? Okay. Hello? Can you stop that? Stop. Stop. Okay, so... Liam's... and Josephine's. Liam's uncle and aunt died from suicide. Possibly from the madness. And then following that event, fire with an unknown cause. Killed Liam's parents and Josie's father. Okay. And these two are cousins. Huh. Okay. Getting some clues. Selena turned around. Ever since she left the mansion, she had the feeling she was being followed. She tried not to pay attention to it, but the feeling intensified and became almost tangible. Selena moved on. She closed her eyes and swallowed hard. I almost got it. It'll be over soon. She tried to focus on something else and began to peer into the faces of passersby. A girl in a light peignoir running out of the brothel into the streets to buy pies. An ordinary hard worker with a potato nose, small eyes, and fat cheeks. A powdered lady with an umbrella strolling toward a carriage. Selena glanced at them and immediately lost interest. Only one man caught her attention. His face was hidden by a hat pulled down over his eyes and the raised collar of his coat. It was impossible to understand neither how he looked nor how old he was, but something about his confident gait made Selena freeze. Her heart began to beat frantically, hysterically, pleadingly. Selena stopped, unable to move, and only watched the movements of the man. Oh no! I think I got it. He walked by without noticing her. Maybe it's the tarot card reader. And, which is interesting because Prima said that she was going to take a little walk. Busted. He walked by without noticing her. The smell of his body, so familiar and dear, helped Selena come to her senses. She turned around almost with a shout. Damon? Who? But he was gone. Selena wrapped her arms around herself. No, it's not him. It can't be. Who is Damon? I'm gonna write down exactly that. Who the fuck is that? She suddenly felt cold, unbearably cold. She looked around, confused, in search of his stately figure. She was trying to find him in the crowd as she often did after work or after lessons, hoping, like earlier, she'd see his warm, slightly condescending smile, the way adults look at children when they say something stupid. That time Selena stood alone among the puddles and slops in a miserable town where Damon would have never appeared. She sighed, lowered her hands, and admitted, "He's not here. It's for the best." She took a step forward. It was difficult for her to move at first, but with every other step, it was getting easier. The only thing she could think about was him. Selena stopped, deciding to turn around for a moment. She wanted to make sure that the ghost from the past had disappeared. She looked over her shoulder. A bag flashed over her eyes. Someone's gloved hands caught her and roughly led her forward. Hello? Hey, who are you? Let me go now. Selena tried to break free. She shook her head, refused to go, fell to her knees until her kidnapper got tired of her resistance and hit her in the back of the head. You'll pay. Everything before her eyes went dark and she lost consciousness. I thought that was a face. Oh my god. When she woke up, her ankle was hurting and her head felt heavy. Selena jerked her foot. Her body swayed. I'm hanging upside down. Through the musty smell of the bag, she could feel the scent of pine cones and trees. Am I in the woods? Hey, is anyone here? Nobody. Raindrops made their way through the foliage and hit the damp ground, making a dull sound. Selena was panicked. She tried to rip off the bag. Suddenly she heard steps and became quiet. Slush, slush. Slush, slush, slush. Someone walked as if jumping into puddles. A stranger was humming a song. Damn. Selena tried even harder to get rid of the bag. It's Prima. She was panicking from fear, and that made it hard to breathe. The footsteps froze right under Selena's head. She stopped moving again, freezing in the same position. The branches crackled. Is he climbing a tree? Who are you? What do you want from me? The rope that was holding Selena started to sway. Hey! Snap. The rope tore. Selena fell, but immediately jumped up, just to collapse again from dizziness. Stay away. Swoosh. The bag was ripped off of her. The first thing that Selena saw was the sky and lots of tree branches. Raindrops dripped from the leaves and soaked into the ground. For a few moments, she looked up, disheartened, as if she couldn't believe what she was seeing. Then she slowly looked down. Hello. I knew it was Prima. And not only that, it was Prima who put the bag on my head as a man. And Prima who's here as a child who took the bag off of my head. I knew from them jumping in the puddles. And she just magically found me here. Taking a walk through town, maybe. Busted. Those are the clues. I'm telling you. Hello. Prima was standing next to her, leaning one hand on her knee while sucking on a lollipop. You get that from town? You. Me. Selena got up, brushed up her dress, and threw an angry look at Prima. What the fuck, Prima? The girl smacked her lips, took the lollipop out of her mouth, and waved it in the air, outlining a circle. How do I know? I helped you, actually. So, you weren't the one who hung me by my leg? Of course not. How could I do that? She's playing game. Gaslighting! How did you end up here? I was taking a walk, and suddenly I see a woman hanging upside down wearing your trousers. I thought I should help. Selena burst. How do you know what trousers I wear? That will stay a secret. You're making fun of me. I certainly do that sometimes. I need to think. Selena put her hand around the tree trunk so as not to fall. Her body was trembling. She couldn't calm down. Who'd want to attack me, and why? She's standing right here. Prima took the bag and picked up the note that had fallen from it. I don't know, but he seemed to have his reasons. She handed over the piece of paper. I'm tired of these games. Did you forget who you are? You're next. Okay. I'm being threatened now. The paper trembled in Selena's hands. Don't panic. If they wanted to harm me, they would do it. They wanted to scare me. This is a warning. The first and final. Do you know whose handwriting it is? Prima glanced at the note. Nope. Sure, have a seat. I suppose my attackers were prompted by my visit to the lawyer. Maybe Rosen warned them about my arrival. Josephine's the only one he could have warned. Selena crumbled up the note. Old hag. No, this isn't Josephine's handwriting. What? I said it's not Josephine's handwriting. Mr. Rosen? No, not him. He constantly writes letters to Josephine. He has different handwriting. I don't think he would have seen Rob's. I don't think it would have been Mary. I don't think it was Liam's. Especially after her and Rob connected, I trust him. Mary, I don't trust her. However, since they gave us that little snippet into her head, we already know the type of games that she plays, and she does things directly. She don't need to run around the bush leaving notes and shit. She don't need to do all that. Liam is mildly psychotic. However, there's something in me that lets me know, no, he wouldn't. Now, the only person who talk about any games that we've been playing is Bert. I'm gonna be honest. But I think his crazy is more around Bert. Honestly, I don't think it's any of these people at all. But I'm gonna ask about Bert. Prima shrugged. I don't know. I haven't seen his handwriting. So, it could be. Interesting. Okay, I'm done walking. Let's go home. You're nice today. Oh, I'm in a good mood. They left the forest and returned to the city. Yeah, because you scared the hell out of you. The rain stopped, but everyone knew that it wasn't for long. Almost all the inhabitants of Totspell gathered in the street. Did you want to enjoy the good weather? They came closer, and then Selena saw several corpses laid out in a row. Everyone frightened whispers were heard, the play is back. Why is this happy music playing? I told you. Corpses were carried out from almost every building as if they had all died at once. An epidemic is the last thing I need. Mary came out of the nearby church. Seeing her, Mrs. Oberly jumped out of the crowd and ran up to her. Oh, Mary, what a misfortune. It started again. Josephine is our only hope. Mary patronizingly touched her shoulder and smiled. Don't worry. We'll defeat the disease as we did many times before. I'll pray for it. I hope you're still coming. Oh, of course I'll be there. Mary noticed Lilith watching her. Mary's heart skipped a beat, but she held back her confusion and nodded to her as a greeting sign. Is Lilith angry with me? What's she thinking now? See, the little tidbits into her head are very nice and lets me know, no, she wasn't the one who left that no. Selena, on the other hand, felt nervous. Her cheeks blushed. She remembered Mary courting her in her bedroom, gently stroking her skin, whispering in her ear with her languid voice. At the same time, she remembered her crying in the office, begging for one more chance. The new Mary excited her. She wanted to look at her in the eyes, but at the same time she was embarrassed to do it. What's wrong with you? Selena came to her senses and quickened her pace. Nothing. Let's go. They headed towards the hotel. The spires of the mansion were seen from afar, hiding behind a misty haze. Selena walked fast, and Prima had to run at times to catch up with her. Is that the hotel up there at the top? The feeling of being followed intensified with renewed vigor. Prima was also disturbed by something. She constantly turned around, and Selena was concerned about what Prima was looking at. Prima stopped in front of a shop and pressed her forehead against the glass. Oh, look. Your mirror is for sale. Eh? What are you talking about? Prima pointed her finger to the window. An old handmade mirror stood on the shelf next to some random stuff like hairpins and china sets. It broke. You brought it here to be fixed, and you told them to sell it if someone wanted to buy it. Got it. Selena peered into the smooth mirror glass, and it suddenly flashed, reflecting the sun. Happened at just the right moment, as if beckoning to come closer and take a look. Suddenly, Selena noticed her own reflection in the store window. Oh, But there was something wrong with it. The girl on the other side of the glass grinned. Lilith? Hearing her name, the reflection waved his hand and moved down the street while the real one remained in place. Selena followed her. The reflection flashed in the following store window, then jumped into the house windows. It kept running and running until it led her into an alley. Wait! Turning the corner, Selena bumped into a human-sized mirror. Before she had time to react, the reflection stretched out her hand and pulled her inside. Oh, Alice in Wonderland style! Lilith was looking for Uncle Salisbury, but he was nowhere to be found. She went down to the hall, but he wasn't there either. Voices were heard in the living room. Uncle Salisbury? She wanted to open the door, but she heard bits of the conversation. Poor girl, what an awful thing. He has a kind heart, but why would he want this girl? Speak quietly, we're guests here. Oh, come on. No one hears us. But you're right, there's no place for Lilith here now. Just a burden, but on the other hand, who will shelter her if not him? Nobody, of course. Who needs an extra mouth to feed? She has nothing. And why hide? Her character is nasty, obstinate. Right, she's a troublemaker. Lilith recoiled from the door, clenching her fist painfully. Are you surprised? You are nasty. Like, they could have left out the bits about her being a burden, but, your character is about spot on. Apparently you've been like that even when your mother was alive. Like, I don't know why. Josephine pulled Lilith into the room, took out a box, and shook it in front of the girl. Where's the necklace? Young Josephine. Interesting. I said I don't know. You liked it, didn't you? So what? Don't play dumb. Why do you think I took it? Because you're dark inside, I can feel it. You didn't care about your parents' death, your grandfather's death. Don't you think I've noticed? You only care about your well-being. You're not capable of love. You don't care for anyone's feelings but your own. Why not steal the necklace since you liked it? The fact that it's dear to me doesn't bother you. Nonsense. Well, I wanted to do it the easy way, but... Josephine grabbed her hand and led Lilith to the library where Mr. Salisbury used to spend his time. Let me go. Grandpa, are you here? No, please, I didn't take your stupid necklace. Salisbury filled it with the books, hiding in the shadows of the shelves. His alienated voice rang out. Yes, honey, what happened? He looks familiar. And not because I saw the painting. He just looks like somebody. Can somebody do a face claim? Who does he look like? Yes, honey, what happened? Lilith stole my necklace and doesn't want to confess. Is that so, Lilith? The pages of a book rustled. He didn't stop reading while talking. She's lying. Oh, you. Honey, are you sure Lilith did it? Absolutely. There's no one besides her. In that case, she should be punished. Lilith, my child, all you have to do is ask. The page of the book rustled again, and an impatient sigh was heard. Josephine understood everything and backed away towards the door. Thank you, Grandpa. We'll leave you to it. Lilith almost hung on her arm. She didn't bicker anymore. She felt as if she was hit in the chest and had no air to breathe. She could hear horses approaching, then a carriage creaking from some sudden braking. Douglas squeezed Lilith's trembling hand and stared in horror at their pursuers. Oh no. It wasn't difficult to persuade her to escape from the city with him. He was already counting the money he'd get from selling the girl, and then everything went upside down. Lilith believed that they were lovers fleeing from a city where their lives meant nothing. But one wrong word and one edgy look made her understand his real motive. He could have dealt with her if not for that carriage. The carriage door opened, and one by one, 2 leather boots stepped on the ground, slowly, as if emphasizing that they had nowhere else to rush. Lilith, in a fit of relief, rushed to her savior, and Douglas obediently let her go. His first thought was to flee, but he still hoped the plan would succeed. Uncle, you're here. Thank God. You decided to run away, Lilith? He let her hug him. Before she could answer, Douglas stepped forward. Lilith, you say you've taken care of everything. What are you talking about? You promised me you wouldn't leave me. Have you changed your mind? Lilith clung to the old man and cried, Uncle, he's lying. He wanted to do something to me. Do what, Lilith? I don't know, but something terrible. Did he kidnap you? How would I kidnap her, mister? She's not even tied up. Maybe I shouldn't have mentioned the ropes. No, I went with him willingly, but... Salisbury pushed her away from him. Lilith, why are you dishonoring your grandfather's good name, and my family's name? You may go, young man. I'll deal with her. Thank you, mister. Thank you. Uncle. You always wanted to frame this boy. This is very mean, young lady. Lilith saw Mr. Salisbury's gaze become severe, saw him getting disappointed and losing respect for her. Is everything they say about you true? She wanted to scream, no, it's not like that, but she said nothing. There was no point in telling the truth. She'd be judged regardless of what she did or said. They made a punching bag out of her. Everyone had a strong opinion about her. Okay. She thought, okay, from now on, I'll be as bad as everyone thinks I am. Even worse. Damn. That's fucked up. Snapping sound awakened Selena from the vision. Prima squatted and snapped her fingers in front of Selena's eyes. Yoo-hoo, is anyone home? Selena pushed the girl's hand away from her. Yes, I hear you. What's up with your face? You look like you've seen a ghost. Nothing. Let's return to the hotel. Whatever you say. And you say I'm weird. Prima galloped through the puddles, not paying attention to the pile of corpses, Selena trying not to look at them. I think Josephine told Lilith. Did she react to them the same way I reacted to the words of the headmistress? Nobody believed Lilith and what she decided to become what others saw in her. No wonder that nobody likes her now. Since she did everything she could so no one would ever love her, just like I did back at the orphanage. First, you push people away, then you suffer from it. I thought Lilith and I were different. What if she's me, just under different circumstances? Is it possible that I, having lived her life, would become the same? The woman walking in front of them suddenly stopped and started coughing, then suffocating, and the next second she fell dead. Selena shuddered, awakening from her thoughts. Prima jumped over the body and moved on. Without turning around, she said, "Don't touch her or you'll get sick." Selena disgustedly stepped over the corpse and caught up with Prima. Does this happen a lot? From time to time. The sun had already set, and the darkness of the night was rapidly approaching. To her relief, the spires of the mansion appeared on the horizon. It seemed like the plague stopped on the doorstep of the hotel. It was like a safe haven where sailors docked to escape the storm. Prima flew into the hall and ran to the second floor, almost knocking Rob off his feet. "Watch out." Seeing him, Selena hesitated. The memories of their kiss and hug were still fresh. She still remembered what it was like to snuggle against his back, to feel his excited heart beating. Rob walked up to her, coughed awkwardly, then looked into her eyes. "Did you fall?" Looked at her dress, smeared with mud after falling. Selena came closer to him and discreetly held out a note. He read the threat left on the paper. "What's this?" "Someone put a bag on me and hugged me upside down from a tree. That's probably because I got on the right track." She told him what she had learned from Frederick Rosen. Robert marked almost with admiration. "I went to see him, but I couldn't find out anything from him." "You did good." He took out a cigar and thoughtfully twirled it in his hands. "It's getting dangerous. You better not get into this anymore." "Gladly. I've had enough." Rob was about to say something, but the words got stuck in his throat. He looked at Selena from head to toe, then looked somewhere over her shoulder, clutching the cigar. "I shouldn't have got you into this." "What do you mean? It was my decision to get involved." "And yet, you should leave the rest to me." Rob bowed to Selena and went outside. She, in turn, decided to calm her nerves and drink some chamomile tea. Well, he's trying to protect her. But Selena can protect herself. Liam was in the living room. As usual, he sat in an armchair, but he wasn't looking out the window. He was drawing something fanatically in the notebook while his mind was consumed by seemingly painful thoughts. His graceful, skillful charcoal-smeared fingers were trembling with every nervous movement. Hearing the sound, the door opening. So his medium of choice is charcoal, not oily paints. Interesting. He saw the door open and he shuddered, hit the notebook behind his back, and stared at the incoming guest with tension. "What happens when you get frustrated while drawing?" "I didn't mean to disturb you." "Oh, it's you, Lilith." He exhaled with relief. "It's okay, I was just painting." Selena came closer to him and looked at his sketches. The pages were covered with the face of the same man from different angles. "Who is this?" Liam shyly removed the notebook. "I don't know. I dream about him every night." "So, like Bert. Sometimes remembering him, tears come to my eyes, but I don't understand why this stranger is so dear to me. It's exactly like Bert, just like Bert and that girl." "What could that mean? Are these echoes from the real life?" So Liam is the real person. Liam smiled as he looked at Selena's dress. "Are you in trouble again?" She brushed off the dirt off of her skirt. "You could say that." Sure. I wanted to have some tea." Liam's eyes lit up with joy. "Of course. Have a seat. Let me take care of you." He sat Selena in a chair and rushed to the kitchen. It's a nice song. He seems so kind, so sincere. I hope he's not involved in everything that goes on here. Well, at the very least, he seems afraid of Josephine. That's points in my book. Josephine's a problem. She gotta go. Liam returned with the tray. The dishes were clinking in his hands. "Please." Leaning over, he gallantly held out a tray with 2 cups. Selena nodded, took the mug, and said with a smile, "Thank you. That's so kind of you." Liam sat down opposite her and chuckled. "It's been a while since we had an evening like this. When we were kids, we often ended our evenings with a cup of tea, especially after all the adventures." "What adventures?" "Oh, we didn't waste time. I remember one day we went for a walk in the forest and stumbled upon a bear cub. You were determined to find his mom by all means. You picked up the bear cub in your arms and ran looking for her. What a nightmare." "I thought so too. I ran after you, tried to convince you, but you were adamant." "And then what?" "We've been looking for hours. The bear cub, like an obedient child, fell asleep in your arms. Animals always loved you." He stopped, fell silent for a moment, then hastily sipped his tea and continued. "Where did I stop? Oh yeah. We were running through the forest with that bear cub when suddenly, somewhere ahead, we heard his mother's roar. Oh my god. The bear cub woke up right away and roared back. You immediately let go of him, looked at me, and I looked at you. And we turned around and ran all the way to the mansion, laughing with joy and fear that the bear would follow us." What a story. So listened to him with genuine interest. Oh, there is many such stories. Liam jumped up, began waving his arms, imitating scenes from his life with Lilith. He looked like a child, enthusiastically telling his parents about his fantasies. Selena put her chin on her clasped hand and listened to his stories with a smile. They laughed, completely forgetting about the tea. Liam finished speaking and returned to his seat. "How do you stay in one piece after all these adventures?" Liam's smile faded. One word, thrown inadvertently, put back the wall between them. "Both of us, Lilith. You were there too, weren't you?" "Liam, The door flew open, forcing Selena to fall silent mid-sentence. Listening into the living room, she froze the door, then walked on, strangely circling around Selena while looking at her. "What are you doing?" Liam started to touch the pocket where the hidden notebook lay. "Nothing. Chatting." "What's the matter?" "What's with your dress?" "I don't know. Maybe you have an idea?" "What are you talking about?" Selena threw the note at her. "You mean you don't know anything about this?" Josephine stared in surprise at the scrap of paper. She read it repeatedly and then hid it in her skirt pocket and said as if nothing had happened. "Filthy girl. There's a trail of dirt behind you." "What does this mean?" "We're just about to take a bath." "I'll draw one for you. Come back in 15 minutes. Josephine disappeared into the hall. "What's up with her?" "I don't know." "Don't tell her what I drew." Cinder barely heard Liam's request, so looking in the direction Josephine went and answered, "I ain't telling her none." "I won't." She turned to Liam. "I'm gonna rest. Good night, Liam." "Same to you, dear Lilith." Okay. Liam might be crazy, but he's adorable, and I love him. It's absolutely adorable, and I loved him. That whole scene, the whole story just made me smile so much. I love that. That was amazing. That was so nice. So, to me, he is precious. He is baby, and I will trust him now. I will trust him now. That's the story. Okay, so people who are kind of sketch. Bert, definitely Josephine. She cannot be trusted. She has been a asshole from day one. Back in the day, too. Wow. Dangerous. She's absolutely dangerous. Oh my goodness. I don't think Lil took the necklace. I really don't. So then knocked and cautiously peeped into the bathroom. "Are you there?" Yes. Come in." "She'll try to drown you. I don't know." Josephine ran her hand over the water to measure the temperature. "Oh, she gonna burn me. Take off your clothes." Can you leave? I can bathe myself. Get out." "What? I won't. I won't let you walk around the house like this." "Okay, well, I can clean myself, though." "What the fuck? What does it have to do with anything? I wasn't dressed in front of you. Did you lay an eye on me?" "What?" Josephine looked away, nervously straightening her clothes. "My fascination with girls doesn't apply to you. You're disgusting to me. Don't worry. I'll turn my back." "Why don't you go out?" I have something I'd like to discuss. Then we can discuss it and then I can take a bath. Josephine stood with her back to Selena and waved her hand in annoyance. Take off your clothes. Well, old hag. Water splashed over the sides of the bathroom as Selena climbed into it. Wonderful. Let's wash your hair. Let's not? Once again, you will try to drown me. Do not let her get her hands in your hair. I don't know if you love me or hate me. You take too much care of a maid. Dude, she's trying to kill you. Think whatever you want. My hatred doesn't prevent me from loving you in my own way. And I'm not afraid of you. You have always had an unbalanced character, but you're my servant. I'm not afraid of you. I think you've learned that already. She repeats it so often as if she's trying to convince herself. Josephine lathered her hair. Selena wanted to relax, but the whole situation seemed so absurd that she lay tense, ready to jump up at any moment. You watched me last night. I'm not angry. We're all a little nervous at this point, I understand. But you won't ruin anything, no matter how hard you try. Selena angrily pulled the hair out of Josephine's hands and turned to her. I don't understand what you're talking about. You don't have to suck up to me. Just tell me what you need. Josephine got up, offended. You don't want to help me? You don't want to help me, do you? Oh my god. Care to explain what I need to do? Josephine chuckled and shook her head. I need to leave for a few minutes. I'll be back soon. Great. Left alone, Selena was finally able to relax. She lowered her head, closed her eyes. The water gurgled every time she moved, interrupting the absolute silence in the room. If only we were always like this. That's what I need. That's what I'm gonna do. Take me a nice long bubble bath tomorrow. As soon as I put the baby to bed. You know what? Scratch that. I'm not gonna wait for her to go to bed. When she takes her first nap, I'm gonna make me a bath. Just hang out. If only we were always like this. Selena dozed off and woke up from the fact that Josephine was soaping her hair. She sleepily opened her eyes, slightly raised herself to make it easier for Josephine. You know, I have hands. I could wash my own hair. The fingers began to massage harder. Suit yourself, considering that you tried to poison me. It's the least you can do. The fingers clenched more tightly. It hurts? Even more tightly. Stop it. Are you sure it's Josephine? Selena tried to get up, but the hands wouldn't let her, pressing her head against the cold side of the bathtub. Let go. She began to wave her arms, first trying to push Josephine away, but then trying to reach at least something. She managed to grab an iron tray, which usually contained bathroom accessories. Dropping everything that was on it, she pulled the tray to her and looked into its reflection. The door opened. Josephine stood frozen in the doorway. Selena jumped out of the bathtub and collapsed on the floor without hiding her nakedness. What's the matter? Cover up. She held out a towel. There was a man, a ghost. Selena was trying to catch her breath but couldn't. He was washing my hair. She shrugged her shoulders in disgust. Josephine stared at her with undisguised horror. Charlie? Charlie. Is that the uncle or one of their dads? Charlie. Uncle? Dad? Josie said. Who's Charlie? Did he have a scar on his face? Yes. Yes? Someone covered her mouth with her hand, burst into tears and ran out of the bathroom. Who's Charlie? Don't stop there! No! Man, they won't be back until my birthday. Well, we have finished. We have finished Arcanum. For this update, at least. Episode 9, 10. Oh, it's going to be the finale next time. It's Liam's birthday soon. And there's a fair opening in town, just like in Selena's world. Ooh. Some stuff about to go down. Some stuff is about to go down. Oh my googie. Who is Charlie? Which one do you think it is? Is it their uncle, Liam's dad, or her father? But why would she call her father Charlie? Right? I know Liam wasn't close to his parents, so he might refer to his parents by name. But, or is it somebody in one of the portraits? But I feel like we would have recognized him because we've always been focusing on these portraits. So I'm going to go with potentially an uncle. Their Uncle Charlie. One of the ones who died the first time from suicide. Because maybe they killed themselves in the bathroom. Don't know. They didn't say how that they died. And the other 3 died in a fire. He didn't look... The ghost... Oh, it's hard to tell, but I don't think the ghost looked like burnt up or charcoal. I'm invested. I am invested. I do love this story. This is very nice. This is very great. Very invested. Who wrote this story? Is it the same person who wrote... I know it's the same person who wrote Shadow Saint 4, right? This is also the same person who wrote Heaven's Secret. They on a roll. They are on a roll. Okay. Yeah, I can't remember their name. I don't remember. Anyway, I enjoy this. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, go ahead and share a like button, some love, subscribe to see more content like this, and I will see you next time. Bye. Happy Halloween.